concise and intelligent Stephen Watson from 27andahalf. Cheers, mate.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thanks, Stephen. And it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I believe that we should all make the most of the time that we have. And everything that I do is based on that principle. This is my family. They mean the world to me, and everything that I do is for them. And they've shaped me to be the person that I am today and influence everything that I do. My obsession with time started with the worst day of my life. In 2009, my mum was diagnosed with a terminal degenerative brain disease called progressive supranuclear palsy. She was given 6 years to live after that, and the promise that things would get steadily worse for her during that time. That news hit me like a train. The realization of how finite time is became apparent just immediately. At the time, I was running my own business, and as many of us do running our own businesses, I was spending 6, maybe 7 days a week running, trying to make it work. But I immediately decided that I wanted to make the most of the time that I had left with my mum. So I decided to cut down my working week dramatically to 4 days, so that every Friday we could go out together and have a great day together. Do you know what, time-wise, it wasn't that difficult to do it. Are you familiar with the Parkinson's law? The Parkinson's law is basically the reason why students have a 3-month deadline, but yet still wait until the day before they do the work. It's the principle that says that stuff expands to fill the space that it's given. And that's exactly what was happening with my working week. I was taking 6-7 days because I was allowing 6-7 days. So when I reduced that to 4, I just had to cut out a few of the things that I didn't really need to be doing, become a bit more productive with my time, and it wasn't that hard. So I did that for 6 years, and during that time, Mum got steadily worse. She first lost the ability to walk, then she lost the ability to feed herself, so she had a tube to her stomach. She lost the ability to see properly, and then finally she lost the ability to communicate, all whilst remaining mentally alert, and she was incredibly brave throughout the whole thing. We always spent Christmas together as a family. It was a lovely tradition that we always had, and on Christmas morning 2015, I excitedly got myself ready to go around and spend the day with my family. I received a phone call from my brother. I think you know what's going on. Mum had passed away. I was devastated, absolutely devastated. And the one thing that I was pleased about was that we had quality time to spend together. And I was really grateful for that. So I certainly wasn't going to stop being productive with my time. I still stayed with the 4 days, but I spent that 5th day with other members of my family. Still continue to make the most of my time, until the best day of my life. On the 16th of September 2017, my little girl, Lily, was born. And from the very start, my wife, who's also self-employed, and I decided that we were going to split the childcare. We both wanted to play a massive role in the upbringing of Lily, so we split the childcare. That presented another challenge because I had to then reduce my working week to 3 days instead of 4, as did she as well. That was a bit more of a challenge because I was already being quite productive with my time and quite good with my time management. So to go from 4 to 3 was actually a lot harder than going from 7 to 4. To do that, I tried over 100 different time management tips and strategies. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. And I think recently I've worked out why that is. Good time management allows people to spend more time on the things that are most important to them, whether that's family, whether it's health, or whether it's personal development. Whatever it means to you, whatever success is to you, good time management allows you to spend more time doing the things that mean the most to you. I'd like you to consider for a minute with the person next to you, what would you do if you had more time? Just spend 30 seconds just telling the person next to you, if you had more time, what would you spend it on?
Did you say going back to the
That's the answer.
Well, no, I'll go around
Okay, thank you. So, I've heard some really interesting things, overheard some conversations of the ways that you would spend your time, and it's great. But I think we could all agree that we would like to have more time to spend on the things that we want to do. Is that fair? Yeah, okay, good. Now I'd like you to punch the air if you have ever heard the phrase, knowledge is power. Yes! Do you know what? I love your breakfast club, and that's why that's what that is. Amazing. That's made my night. Do you agree with the phrase, knowledge is power?
No.
Oh, good. I'm glad we've got a mixed response. Bit of conflict in the room, I like it. I believe that knowledge is powerless if you don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Having knowledge and not using it is the same as not having knowledge at all. And I accumulated a lot of knowledge during the process that I've spoken about previously on time management tips and strategies. I'd like to share some of the highlights of that with you now. Okay, are you ready?
I'm very good.
What gets scheduled gets done. The reason you don't do a lot of things is because you don't have a time on them. You don't schedule them in. So get a diary and schedule it in. Value your time. Work out how much you want to earn in a year. Divide that figure by the number of hours you want to work, and that gives you an hourly rate. That hourly rate allows you to make good decisions about how long to spend on certain things. Do it now. Not later, now. Do it now. Stop procrastinating. Invest in high quality tools. Because if you invest in something that you're proud of, guess what?
You're going to use it. You're going to use it.
So invest in your tools. The next one is controversial, so I'll give you forewarning on that. Stop kidding yourself that you can multitask. Does anybody here think that they can multitask?
Yeah, I definitely can.
Well,
No, I definitely can.
okay,
If
right.
I'm the exception
If
or
you
what?
ever get somebody who says to you that they can multitask, just do this simple task. We're going to play along right now. Okay? I'd like you to, out loud, count from 1 to 10 as fast as you can. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Tell somebody we had a drink, that was quite Okay, now I'd like you to say the alphabet as quickly as you can, out loud. Go. Okay, now this is the fun bit. Now we're going to multitask. I want you to flip between the two. 1, A, 2, B, 3, C. As fast as you can. Ready? Go! I think that nice little exercise proves to people not only how hard it is, but how much harder your brain has to work on two simple tasks when you try and flip between them. Okay, the next one. Have you ever heard people say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? Be really careful who those 5 people are. Okay, they don't have to be real people, by the way, because the brain struggles to distinguish between what it sees on video and what it sees in real life. And that's why you feel so upset when your favourite TV character dies. You never met them, they're not even a real person. But yet you feel grief when they're gone. Be careful who you spend your time with. If you imagine your life and your ambition as a flame, then some people will be fanning those flames and helping them to grow. But others, sadly, are just pouring sand on them. You need to be really careful who you spend your time with. Does anybody write proposals or documents of any kind? Okay, great. I've seen it so many times where people write a document and they spend ages on it, and then they send it to somebody, and all they do is look at the back page and go, oh yeah, that's fine. What? That's fantastic. Ask people exactly what they want. If you're asked to do a proposal, say to that person, how would you like the proposal to look? What headings would you like? What information is important to you? You'll save a lot of time by writing. You hear a lot about prioritising. It's not, I didn't have time to do this. Well, you didn't make it a priority to do this. Okay, and it's important to prioritise the most important things, which of course is something I'm passionate about. Be very mindful of your energy levels. Things like sleep, that's the thing that you said you were going to do, you have no time. Your diet, and exercise as well. And by the way, it's not just physical, right? It's mental health as well. Lots of people struggle to say no. And what you need to know is, every time you say yes to something, you say no to a lot of other things as well. The trick is to know how to say no in a nice way. So practice it. Practice how to say no to things. You can say it in a nice way. If you practice it and you get the words right, you can say no in a way that doesn't offend anybody and is very nice. Okay, if things are clear on your desk and on your computer and on your phone, that can make you feel clearer in your mind as well. It can save you a lot of time. If you've ever been hunting around for a piece of paper or searching through your files in your computer for a document, then you'll know exactly what I mean here. It's worth investing a little bit of time in clearing things up and labeling things nicely. Right, stop booking 1 hour meetings. Just stop it. It's the default thing in people's calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, but don't do it. If a meeting should take 10 minutes to achieve the outcome, make it 10 minutes. Don't make it an hour. Okay. So it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of some of the things that I learned, okay? And some of them, I said to you, worked really well, and some of them didn't work as well. And I've been thinking for ages, why is that? And I had a bit of a light bulb moment. We talk a lot about discipline and choices and things like that. A lot of the time, what we do on a daily basis is nothing to do with that. That was the light bulb moment. A lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis is habit, isn't it? Think about your day. You wake up in the morning, get something to eat, have a shower, you brush your teeth, you get in the car, you go on autopilot to work, you don't even remember the journey. When you get to work, then you start and it's lunchtime before you know it. You go to the same shop, buy the same sandwich and the same drink, you come back, you do the same things in the afternoon, the same conversations with people. At 5 o'clock comes around, you get back in your car, automatically drive home, go in, and we all follow the same routine at the evening as well. And then you go back to bed and do it again. A lot of what we do is habit. So, if we can only make time management strategies into habits, then they become a lot more sticky. And we start doing them. And that's when you can become productive with your time. I came up with a strategy that you can use to achieve that. Because starting new habits can be hard. Can't it? It hurts. We all know that we should run more and do more exercise, but it hurts. And when it's raining outside, I don't want to do it. There's a lot of pain involved before there's any gain. Okay, so this strategy will help you with this. It's a strategy called when and then. So I'll give you some examples. Do you ever write an email and then take ages to hear back from them and then spend ages writing a reply? Right. A lot of the time that should be a phone call. Email is designed to share information. It's not designed to be a chat to. Okay, so I'm conscious of that, but we automatically go to our preferences. So I set up something that helps me make a better decision. Whenever I open the compose new email button on my email, do you know the auto signature you get at the bottom? You've got your name, your business name, your email. I've added it to the top, and it says, should this be a phone call? Question mark. So every time I open that, I get asked the question. When I open my email, then I get asked, should this be a phone call? And if it shouldn't, then guess what? Just delete that button. Hi, dear person, whatever. But the number of times it's made me think, actually, yeah, just pick up your phone, it's much quicker. Save a lot of time. It's important to reward yourself, because if we lose sight of the goal that we're doing it for, then we can lose some motivation for doing things. So it's important to remember to reward yourself when you're doing things well. So when I perform a desired action that I've decided I want to do, then I reward myself. And that can be in a number of ways. And one of the simplest ways is to say something that reminds you of the goal. So let me give you an example. If I wanted to lose weight, every time I make a good decision, a good action, then I'll say to myself, you lost weight. Do you know what I mean? And that triggers quite a reaction.
Yeah, good enough.
Remove the distractions. The average office worker, I'm told, I believe, is interrupted every 11 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? How do you get anything done if you're being distracted every 11 minutes? So, when I get distracted, then I write down what distracted me and what am I going to do to stop it. So it's sometimes about changing notification settings on your phone or on your email, or closing your door, putting a sign on the door, or telling people, just, can I have an hour? Just, yeah, do something. Know what it is. The definition of stupid, basically, is to keep doing the same thing over and over again, isn't it? Learn from it and do something about it. I also set barriers as well, because I found myself sitting at home in what was supposed to be my family time, scrolling on your phone. What are you doing on your phone? Oh, I don't even know. I'm scrolling. Whatever's next. I think we're all guilty of doing that sometimes. So I set a barrier, something that's going to stop me doing that. So when I approach my living room, then I put my phone on silent and put it on the table and walk into the room. That's had an amazing effect on me. Speaking of phones, it's important that we reduce passive screen time. That's the kind that we were talking about, the scrolling, the endless stuff. Look, phones are fantastic, and in fact, technology and phones, smartphones in particular, are the number one reason why we should all be able to work a 15-hour week. But also, the number one reason why we don't. So, reduce the passive screen time. When I set my alarm on my phone at night, then I also have a quick check of my average screen time. That's massive. And I play a little game with myself. I just say, I've got to reduce it. It could be by a minute, it could be by 10, whatever. I just play a little game with myself to try and reduce it, because I know it's important. Right, you'll like this one. Have you ever had two different things that you can't decide between? Shall I do this or shall I do that? And it ends up in procrastination. You do neither of them. Okay? This is the tip. Flip a coin and ask yourself, which one do I want it to be?
Yeah.
And then don't even look at the coin. Just do that. Okay, I'm a big advocate of streaking. Don't worry, I remain clothed throughout. But when you're streaking is doing the same thing for as many days consecutively as you can without breaking the chain. And it's amazing how powerful that is, you know. The further you get, the more crosses you get on that calendar, the more you've got to lose by breaking it. It's a powerful way of developing a daily habit. It can be, there's an app that you can get that does that if you're more technological based, just called Streaks. Simple. Use a calendar, whichever works for you. If we bring it back to more of a business kind of setting, we all have meetings, don't we? And we said before that a lot of meetings are just boring and they're so long and pointless. So I'd like you to think about a meat sandwich. Okay, so the meat sandwich. A sandwich needs to have a top and a bottom. Otherwise it's just a big old mess. It goes everywhere. So what are the layers of the meat sandwich? The first one, sticking with when and then, is when I start a meeting, then I will confirm the desired outcomes of the meeting and the finish time of the meeting. If you do that at the beginning, the middle bit is pretty structured and pretty productive. The final bit is when I finish a meeting, then I will do or schedule all of the things that I agreed that I was going to do in that meeting. So we've had a little look at some of the applications of when and then and how I would help people to apply time management strategies into habits. And I actually have longer workshops that I do that in more detail with. My next one is at Worsley. It's in November. If you're interested in coming, I'd love to invite you. We're all connected on LinkedIn. Get in touch if you'd like to learn more about that. The first step whenever I'm working with anybody is awareness, because I think positive change usually starts with becoming aware of what you're actually doing. So my first question to a lot of people is, what do you currently use to manage your time, to schedule your time? It may or may not surprise you to know that the answer with a lot of people is nothing. They're amazing clients for me because I can make a massive difference with them straight away by just giving them Google Calendars. It's like stealing a living. Lots of people like the traditional diary. That's great. You know, if you use that and you use it well, good on you. Fantastic. I prefer e-calendars for three main reasons. The first one being that it's transferable. I can see it on my phone, on my computer, at work, at home, on someone else's computer. I can see it wherever I am. The second one is that it allows me to schedule repeat tasks. So I schedule everything. When I'm going to eat, when I walk the dog, when I'm going to bed. I literally am a bit of a geek on this. I literally schedule my whole life. The third reason is that it allows me to drag and drop. So stuff happens. With the best will in the world, stuff happens. You don't get to do something that was in your schedule. But what happens usually is that thing sometimes gets forgotten and left. Oh, I forgot all about that. Drag and drop. It's rescheduled. It's back in the calendar. Don't worry, guys. It's still going to get done. Okay, so as we said before, what gets scheduled gets done. That's really key. The third thing that people will often tell me about what they use to manage their time is the to-do list, also known as the graveyard. They never get done. We're gathered here today to remember those tasks that we missed yesterday, that we didn't do today, and that we'd never have got done tomorrow either. Joking aside, why is that? It's simple, isn't it, really? It's because there's no urgency in a to-do list. There's no time on it. Tomorrow's always a day away. It's beautiful to put something on a to-do list and think, yeah, tomorrow. As soon as you put a date, a time, and a place on that, it becomes more than a to-do list. It becomes a scheduled task that you're going to do. So, you want another tip? Here you go. Stop writing to-do lists. Schedule things that you need to do. So what gets scheduled gets done. We've already said that. Some of my research into habit formation has shown a few things. One of them from Atomic Habits by James Clear says the importance of having a very small and simple thing to do to start with. The reason for that is because if something's really hard, you're more likely not to do it. If it's easy, you'll do it. It's simple as that, really. It's backed up by someone called Gary Keller, who wrote The One Thing. That's a good book. And he talks about the domino effect and how one thing can lead to another, and another, and another, and another. And if you pick the right first domino, then it can have a massive effect on your life. But then what I found really interesting about this is that a falling domino has the power to knock over another domino that's 50% bigger than itself. I think that's a nice analogy to think about how one small change can really escalate and can really make a big difference. If you want real life examples of that, then there's a good one from somebody called Ben Hunt Davis, who took his rowing team from being also rounds to being Olympic gold medalists. The way they did that was by asking one simple question. Before they decided to do anything, they would always ask themselves, will it make the boat go faster? The answer is yes, then they do it. The answer is no, they don't do it. It became an obsession for them, and they ended up really making massive differences, and they got to Olympic gold. It was incredible. The same principle's been used by David Brailsford with GB cycling. The aggregation of marginal gains, little things that just add up and make a huge difference over time. I find that fascinating, and I think it's so true to find that first domino that's going to make a big effect. My wife and I are approved foster carers. And throughout that process of becoming approved foster carers, we learned an awful lot about ourselves because of the questions that are asked during that process. But one of them has the power to be life-changing, and I think does for all of us, whether we know it or not. And that thing is labelling. I mean, imagine children in care, they're just labelled from the start. You know, they have so many disadvantages from the very, very outset. But that got me thinking about, I was talking about this, and I realised that there's a lot of labels that we all have, that we put on each other, and that we put on ourselves. You may have seen Carol Dweck's mindset study. There's different ways of looking at things, a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Do you say things like, I'm not very good at that, I don't do that, I don't do this? Or do you say, I'm up for a challenge, I know I can get better at anything if I put some time into it, put the effort in. You can get better with your time. I'm telling you now, you can. You have to have the right mindset to do it, and label yourself in the right way. Knowledge is powerless if we don't use it. We said that before, and I want you to take something from today and put it into action. So I'd like you now to think about this. What is your first domino? What is the one thing that you're going to take from today and apply to one of your existing habits and make a when and then? What is it? What are you going to do? I'd like to think about that. I'd also like you to think, why will you not do it? What are the obstacles? And how are you going to overcome them? So, I'll leave you with that thought. I hope today has inspired you in some way to make the most of the time that you have. Thank you very much.